Let's see what he's got in store for Dark here as we begin this best of 3. Right now, Dark versus Haas. Introducing our players. In the bottom right, in the blue, he is Dark! And his opponent in the upper left, in the red, he is Haas!
A very wise person once said, the cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is play a macro game. And
That is true.
We've already seen Haas kind of try for something like that, but it didn't work out in his previous series, so I definitely would like to see him back to, you know, his proxies, his massive oracles.
That's right.
His shenanigans.
Know your roots, man.
And like, we've talked about how, you know, Dark also like kind of, you know, sounds arrogant at times, and obviously like he's very good. He rarely ever loses.
I would almost say just confident, right? But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I like arrogant.
Okay.
He rarely ever loses to any non-Korean player. Does he even really know who Haas is? Because if you think you're that good, do you really think you need to study your opponent in Haas?
I think if you're fairly acquainted with StarCraft at all, you just have to know who Haas is because he's such a meme at this point in time. But I don't know, maybe you're right. I mean, maybe, you know, Dark is so insulated from this.
Yeah.
A lot more stuff in Korea that he knows that there's this cheesy guy from Taiwan, but hasn't really taken that much time to study. I don't know. You might have a point though.
Yeah. We'll see. Like if Dark is completely unprepared for any kind of like a very aggressive play, I guess we'll have our answer. But if he puts a lot of effort into scouting and seeing what he's up against, it's only going to be 2 steps. 1, defend the attack that's coming. 2, profit. It's going to be very easy and straightforward. So,
I mean, so far this is looking to be a pretty ordinary opener. This isn't any of these insane cannon rushes we saw Haas do. I was really curious if we might see something like that, but clearly not the case in this game. So yeah, I guess we have to wait and see. Is there going to be an abnormal amount of teching in one direction here from Haas, you know? Because Dark, in a straight-up game, he is so solid. I really liked what In Control said, where Dark is basically the best low econ Zerg, scrambling, you know, handling everything. And that, I feel like, will be so tough for someone like Haas to take on. I feel like Haas wants to take on a much more passive Zerg that would normally try to stop or curb basic aggression. But yeah, I mean, Haas is somebody, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from these two guys.
yeah, I mean, Haas is going to have to be aggressive here no matter what. I really think like if he sits back and, you know, takes a third base and only does some Adept and Oracle harassments, that's just not his style, playing standard. So he won't be doing it as well as most of the auto processes do. So I think he wouldn't have a high chance of success by playing like this. Like we keep emphasizing this, but he has to play very aggressive and unconventional. That's his best shot. And Dark, I think like he knows who he's up against. Going Pneumatized Carapace here is like, I want to see your entire base. There is no way you're going to trick me. There is no way you're going to eliminate me out of the global finals. Dark, who last year had a very disappointing, I think, particularly for him, performance wherein he lost to Elaser. And didn't make it out of the group stages. Yeah, and he was devastated about that loss. This is a guy that you expect to easily make top 8, maybe even go into the top 4.
That's right, Elaser got his revenge back there. And one thing also when you're playing against a player who's known to be cheesy is sometimes the other player will over-defend, like overreact to what's happening. By the way, this Oracle's coming here now, and we do have a Void Ray on the way.
There's no Spore.
There's nothing here. So 2 drones are going to go down.
Yeah, now he's scouting. I mean, that Pneumatized Carapace didn't finish early enough, like, and that Stargate wasn't even like that crazy fast in this case. So 2 drones would win. That's how it starts.
Yes.
How good men turn cruel.
I'm really surprised that just came in there and did that. So Dark took his lumps back there. We do have the Citadel on the way over here as the Void Ray is going to chase away this Overlord. And the game goes on. It has taken a third base, going for Glaive. So
I love this.
This is what we were waiting for.
Because he started the third base as well. So, like, this is always a stage where if you're a Zerg player, you're wondering, is he going to get a lot of probes and it's just going to be a bunch of Adepts? Or is he going to be a lot of Adepts and then he cuts probes to try and be more aggressive? And it's, like, really hard to know. You can do as much scouting as you want. You can't exactly know where the probe count is at. Obviously, Dark, he will keep on trying for that scouting. Ooh.
Oh, hold on.
This is going to get spotted. So, he might be able to make sure this doesn't get in with the one, I think he had a Void Ray. if he makes sure.
Yeah, I think the Void Ray is actually just below the third. There it is. So it's
Oh,
coming
it's
up
too
here
slow,
now.
though.
I think
It's
they
going in the wrong
actually just
direction.
might miss each other.
Cut him off!
Oh!
Like on the highway.
He's coming up now. And
this is huge because...
you're going to see it. Can we get a vision check? Oh!
So he already saw that there was the Twilight Council, so he
Right.
knows there is some sort of attack that could be coming with Glaives, but not being able to see if there is something
Yeah.
like 8 gateways in the main base is a big deal, and there isn't, which means that he can just keep on making probes and get ahead economically.
Yeah, I mean, having that confirmed, you can scout the initial tech, but when you have that suspicion, whoa, double robo coming down here. Cool.
It's going to be really nice, actually, because he knows that Dark is getting very suspicious and is massing roaches. What counters roaches really well? Mass Immortals. So Haz right now definitely doing really well with those mind games. He's not going to
really-
overextend, I think. He's
Yeah,
checked it
I
out.
really love what I'm seeing here with this. Now, the initial Adepts are going to come in here. They are going to be taken out very easily. This may make Haas vulnerable for a little bit. Haas going to go ahead and turn around. Now, those Robos are on the way, but
Yeah.
they're not out yet, and they were just scouted with that Overlord.
6 scouting by Dark. He sees this, he immediately, I think he started something like 11 drones that just completed, so now he's on 66 walkers against 57. And seeing the double robo, he's like, oh, you know what? You know what would be great against a lot of Immortals? Not making roaches, and instead maybe going for something like Mutas, which, if you're not prepared for, and I feel like there's a good chance Haz is not going to see that Spire, Mutas are going to fly all over the place and kill probes left and right. Like, I mean, he has some Void, like, this is actually kind of weird. Like, he made multiple Void Rays, usually you just get one. I mean, that's Haz for you. But, yeah, if Mutas come out, like, let's say if he makes like 6 to 8 Mutas here, and then he flies from one base to another, it's going to be very hard for Haz to defend properly. So ideally for Haz, he would need to see this, maybe get some cannons, maybe get some Phoenixes, 5 more gates on the way.
Damn.
Haz might be happy with his walker count, and from there on, just make units and maybe attack with like 4 to 6 Immortals to try and hit the timing.
Okay, so Haas did his homework here. This is not the game I was expecting to see out here. I wasn't expecting this dance of 2 players trying to out-tech each other. But
You're
this is
expecting
cool
a
to see.
proxy and a
I
cheese and a
thought the
quick game.
pylons, I thought Haas knew that you're not supposed to make pylons in your main anymore. I mean, I've just seen what Maro does with his barracks, but this is such a shift in play styles here. So these few roaches are going to come up here. Now, this is going to be cleaned up. A little bit of a harass. Little guerrilla attack here from Dark.
This is good because it's keeping him busy as well, and Haz is still not paying attention to that Spire. 7 Mutas on the way, like I said. There is no appropriate defense, but oh my god, he's moving across the map at this time. He might just be a base trade here. If Haz goes across the map now and has the Warp Prism there, all he has to do is build a big enough army in terms of Stalkers to just kind of kill Dark on his side of the map and then defend against the Mutas eventually. Like, this could actually be a sick base
This is
trade.
doing like way more damage than I thought I was going to do.
11 probes.
This
oh my
is
god.
actually crazy for just a small number of roaches. I mean, they're paying for themselves and a lot more.
Devin's just not dying.
Yeah. Okay, so the Mutas are out. Let's go ahead and check and see. Do we have any defense at all for the Mutas if they come into the main here? There's nothing, right?
Oh,
I
and
mean,
Haz
this is-
he needs to look at his army. Woo!
he's coming in now. Okay, so Dark's going to try to get into a position, try to deny this. Now, Haas is going to lose all of his workers
Yeah.
here, so it's just important that Haas does damage as quickly as possible.
This is it. He has to go all in, I think. Like, he has
Yeah.
to keep force fielding these units. He gets a lot of roaches here right off the bat. Look at Corrosive Bite. Oh,
Oh my God.
The Void Rays go so low, and there's so many Queens already ready there to basically snipe them.
That's an unacceptable number of biles to connect with the army, and already these Mutas are cleaning up so many probes. Now, Haas still has a lot of workers overall. It's still 57, but I just don't think this main army is going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, he's trying to make something happen here across the map. This has his best chance. He's just going to call GG. There's too much.
Damn. Okay. Not the game I expected. Maybe the result is not surprising that Dark takes game 1, but Haas going for not really a very cheesy build at all.
Yeah, I mean, he did invest a lot into that big attack here that he was going into. And here's the thing, he didn't have a forge, so he didn't have any upgrades, and also he had no possibility of making any cannons. So
Yeah.
immediately when he saw the Mutas, he realized, that's it, I have to go for it. There's no way I can go home and wait, because I'm already gonna lose like, what, 10 to 15 probes, and then I will be too far behind. So I like the choice of attacking is just, he didn't have enough, and those roaches, to be honest, that's what really started things going Dark's way here in this game. The roaches kind of sneaking in and sniping a bunch of probes, even though they were traded for it.
I mean, Haas to get this far already here, the WCS Global Finals, he's one loss away from disappearing. Now, we've known about Haas for years, right? But his big breakthrough was in Valencia. He got to the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, after upset, after upset, after upset.
Which nobody would have predicted.
Nobody
Maybe except
predicted-
Artosis, but
yeah,
even a broken
and
clock
that's,
is
yeah,
right twice
exactly.
a day. So.
That was the Bizarro world where he was right this time. But I mean, he's here now. Okay, so like if you're Haas, what do you do? Do you do that cannon rush? Do you do that cheesy play? Because this is it. He might not get back here ever again. I hope he does. What do you do if you're Haas? You're the cheesiest player of all pro gamers.
I like the way he played it. To be honest, it's just the execution and the defense against those few roaches, which I feel did way too much damage when they shouldn't have. That was the big problem there.
All right, guys, we're going to go into game number 2 now. Dark versus Haas. Right now, Dark with a 1-0 lead. And introducing our players. In the bottom left, in the red, our Zerg player from Korea. He is Dark.
In the blue, even.
Did I say the red? I was testing you. Well done, Todd.
I passed.
You're staying on your toes here. In the upper right, in the red from Taiwan, he is Haas.
The winner of this will move on to face Showtime. For Dark, it will be a rematch. The rematch curse, man. Everybody's thinking about it. Showtime tweeted about it. It's always so worrying. You know, you already beat someone. Thankfully, we don't have extended series here, so it'll just be a straight best of 3.
Okay. That's a gateway, Haas, not a forge. Okay.
Yeah, everything's looking normal.
I guess you're going to play like everybody else so far in the first minute.
Honest, like I said, like last game, I kind of like the build that Haas went for. I feel like he was doing well. Like he prevented Dark for a long time to make as many drones as he wanted, but Dark was so on point with the scouting. Just pneumatized Carapace early on, kept on sending in Overlord.
Yes.
Well, scratch that.
Forge. Okay.
So I guess he has to cannon the second hatchery here.
Yeah.
He sees that he's hatchery first. He's going to go for it at last
here we
second.
go.
Is it with the Zealot, though? No, it doesn't start one, actually. Just straight cannon.
Okay. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's cannon time.
And we saw SOS try for a similar cannon rush earlier, but he didn't close everything off. So then the drones kind of killed everything when he played against Serral. Haas is like, no way. You're not getting in there. Those cannons are going up. That hatchery is dead. There's nothing you can do about this.
So we've seen a Robo push, or a Immortal push with a Robo behind this. Let's see how he does it this time now. Haas is the best cannon rusher in the business, okay? He's a genius. He figured out the cannons don't cost supply, okay?
If they did, how much supply would he have?
Whew. A lot, man. And he's going to try to do it right here, right now. Now, I don't see any drones on the map at all. And the idea here is you need to obtain vision of the high ground here with the second probe that comes in.
Yeah. He's going to make that final on the left side here in the corner, perhaps.
Okay,
Roach Warren and double gas already for Dark, who's going to be getting a raw Roaches, maybe some Ravagers, and he can do a counter push if he wants to, maybe after killing these cannons and then re-expanding. Here's the thing. Haas is a master at this kind of game. A lot of protos sit here, they'd be like, oh, I'm killing a second base. What should I be doing? Well, just expand. But the thing is, if you expand right now, you won't have enough units to deal with the counters. So Haas is already thinking ahead. He's like, you know what? Let me just grab a Stargate. We get some Void Rays maybe that will really help.
I really like the way you put it. It's like he acquires the territory of the second base without utilizing the minerals there yet. He doesn't make a nexus there. Okay, so it's onto one base. Oh! A probe died.
Oh, the Overlord survived, actually.
Yeah.
That would have been a really nice pickup. Look at Dark, 29 out of 30. Always looking at that supply. He could have blocked him.
Okay, so yeah, he has to get rid of that pylon because he needs to try to get glimpses of what's going on onto that high ground. The Nexus is coming down now. So a little bit of a mistake there. Haas losing that initial probe. Now, he's not making more cannons up here. He's just going to try to get vision. If he could just chip away at the extractor, that's actually pretty big if you're on one base as Zerg.
He's trying to see how many Roaches are going to come out and where they head, and also making sure that no lair starts, because if there was a lair, then there could be a Nidus. And in this case, he sees that it's still hatchery tech here from Dark for the longest. Oh, he starts the lair immediately after. Okay, so Dark, that's smart, because if he had started that before, then Haas would have been really wary. Like right now, Haas thinks there is no tech, that Dark will re-expand on the low ground and play normal from there. So if you don't expect the Nidus, what do? You build up your economy because you think your opponent's going to do the same thing, and then you make less units. So Dark is kind of relying on that. He's going to go for a Nidus, and how many Queens does he have actually? Because he's going to have to deal with the air. He's got 2 Queens. It's not that much, but with Ravagers, they're going to synergize well. He doesn't necessarily have to go for Nidus, but I feel like you kind of have to in case Protoss got too greedy, and then you can really punish. But he loses his Overlord.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's he got a Nidus now? He might have to do it outside
the wall.
Yeah,
you can spam pile.
It's not bad, but it's not the, I guess, ideal. You know, you want to have the guessing game going on.
You could even bring drones and build spores across the map on the crate once the Nidus finishes. I actually wonder how much Dark will want to commit to this now that he's supply blocked and he has he has to do it outside of the wall on the natural.
So for those of you guys that are watching and thinking,
Spire! Wow.
For those of you guys that are watching and thinking, oh, I thought you couldn't cannon rush at the highest levels. Well, generally you don't, but Haas has got this so mapped out that even the best players in the world can get tripped up in it. And he's had insane success. I mean, he got to the finals at WCS Valencia and then lost to Cyril, and there's no shame in losing to Cyril because it seems like everybody loses to Cyril.
Wow, the Spire, like he's gonna have so much gas actually. I think like this has to be for Mutas, I'm guessing. Like Dark loves his Corruptors, but I don't feel like Corruptors here will be that great because he would kill the air units of Haz, but then Stalkers will be able to defend if he tried to snipe like a Nexus or something.
The Mutatech's really interesting because...
Oh, second target! No way. He was gonna go... I think he wanted to go Mass Oracles.
I think so, but he's gonna inadvertently see the Spire over here, right?
Oh my god.
Okay, damage coming out. Did he see the Spire? Can I do a vision check?
He might be able to suspect it because he sees no units.
Well, there's a layer here, and with the lack of roaches. And
will Haas really win the map? Will Autosys be right twice in the tournament?
I don't know, man.
Like the clock is twice a day? The broken clock.
Okay. Oh, now does he see it? Oh, he doesn't see it still. But
he's still making Oracle.
He still has 2 Stargates.
Yeah.
He still has 2 Stargates. I mean, that is the answer to the Mutas.
Yeah.
We're just waiting to see Phoenixes come out here because he's still, dude, Oracles. He's still
Dark is staying the course, by the way. He sees Oracles. He's like, well, those Mutas, they might be able to snipe some of these guys. I need to kill probably. I need to make something happen. They're behind right now.
The other thing too is I'm not sure if Dark is 100% sure that he hasn't seen anything.
30 walkers to 44 tasteless. Like this is terrible for like Dark is gonna have to make a miracle happen with these Mutas. And oh my god, he's gonna spot them early. Okay, sure, that Void Ray is dead, but the information. The production type 2 Phoenixes immediately is getting more gates as well.
No, wait, where are the Oracles? They're just flying out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering if he could try to counterattack or something in there, but instead he's got his 4 Oracles total staying back.
Oh my god, and he's getting shield batteries as well in the middle lines. Like this is just... If Haz doesn't suffer like insane damage here, he's just gonna be so far ahead. And he's already got 2 Phoenixes? Oh my god, this is so bad for Dark. What is he supposed to do? He can't even escape against this. Like those Phoenixes are gonna chase him till the end of time.
Okay, he's trying to micro him. He needs to get back to that battery, though. And it looks like he might have zoned him out, so it might be a little bit more up to the Roaches and the Ravagers on the low ground to try to come in here and poke. I mean, the Phoenixes are already getting to the area where the Mutas have basically been countered. So honestly, really well handled there by Haas.
Wait, does he really have to kill his own gateway to get out?
Yeah.
I guess he does have to expend one more time.
This is not a build where it's easy to calculate everything for the future.
A 3rd Stargate! I mean, he has to know that there will be a transition, which in this case is going to be into Hydralisks.
I feel like...
And a fleet big... No.
Oh my god. He just doubles down. Roddy was right all along.
Does he even have Warp Gate, actually?
Oh, this game's so weird.
No, he doesn't
have Warp Gate. Okay.
It's a Roddy build.
He
watches Roddy stream regularly.
I knew it,
on the daily.
Okay, he's coming in here now. Now, the Mutas have been countered. There are Hydras about to hatch, and uh-oh. Is there anything to defend? Oh my god!
Oh my god, this is so sick.
This is so sick. He's just gonna lose the hatch. In fact, Dark just gives it to him.
Dark is just looking at this like going like, what the hell is going on right now?
I got to the World Finals years ago, and here I am now.
Ooh, the recall. I like this, because you're gonna be able to chase those Mutas. Yeah, I mean, those Mutas are toast.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
The angle they're coming at, I don't think they're gonna be able to bank to the left here.
Dark's doing a good job. He prevented the 3rd base from going up with some of his units just a moment ago, but yeah, those Mutas are gonna die. Now those Phoenixes, like, Dark is gonna need an insane amount of Hydralisks, and he doesn't have the economy to keep on like making them and keep up with Haz's economy and tech. Like 57 probes to 45 drones. This is basically what Protoss dreams are made of.
So crazy. So Haas, after losing game 1, he's shifted gears. He's now going into a super crazy cannon rush into wacky tech style, and it seems to be working. And there it is, the 9-minute warp gate timing.
He made his second cyber core to stop warp gate. I'm actually disappointed. You don't need warp gate. Just go mass air.
Okay. The Phoenixes are getting to an almost insurmountable number.
And like most Protosses here, they will already transition into carriers, I think. But Has somehow, he's like, it's almost like he's got a challenge. He's like, I'll only make Phoenixes. Oh, okay, no. So Twilight Council and Forge. So that's why he went into Warp Gate, because he's already got a bunch of gateways, so I think he's going to want to transition on the ground into maybe Chargelot and Archons to really deal with those Hydralisks very well.
I feel like if Haas wins this, he's going to get a special achievement inside the game that he knew was there before.
You know, it's like, the Haas reward.
That's right. Okay, The Phoenixes are looping around now to the bottom. Now, Dark, tempo-wise, has been completely uncomfortable from the start of this game up until now. The Zerg is supposed to outgrow the Protoss. The Protoss has stayed even with the Zerg, but kept it on very rocky tech. So
the problem with Dark is also that he has no idea that there is a transition in the works. He might think this is just pure mass air into carriers, so he's massing Hydralisks. And if Haz gets a good amount of charge loss on the ground, Hydralisks are terrible. Like those Phoenixes, they will synergize to it. But Dark is very good at pushes, especially on this map. I think if he knew that there is a charge loss transition, either he would do an attack before there is too many of them, or he would get Banelings in support for his Hydralisks. And if he's able to eventually realize that that's happening, I think he might actually still, have a shot in this game, but it's not looking too great right now. I feel like if Dark just kind of sits back and plays normally, it's going to take a massive throw from Haz to lose this one. Which again, we've seen in the back, like we're entering the territory here.
Yeah.
You remember what they said on the couch? Like when we go up to 3 bases, that's kind of like when Haz is supposed to lose, but he's done such a good job this game of building up his work account and doing well that he's still technically ahead, even though he's behind in supply right now.
Yeah. The Phoenixes are continuing to roam here. Now, Dark is getting a 4th base set up. That hatchery's almost finished. By the way, Haz is actually sneaking a Nexus in the bottom right corner of the map here. And I don't know if Dark's going to check for this. Because again, this is actually not where Protoss is supposed to expand in theory. You're supposed to take the base just left of the main. But the fact that the Phoenixes are out and can deny scouting, Haz might just get a freebie in the bottom right.
Yeah. He's got a lot of upgrades going, actually. He's on Triple Forge? Wait, what?
Yeah, he's getting
Excuse me? What is going on? Triple Forge?
I don't know, man.
When do we ever see this?
I don't know what's going on. This is so crazy. All right, he's coming in here now, taking out a few more drones.
Yeah, this is great. Actually, if he can do a lot of flybys like this just to catch up reinforcements, that's so many Phoenixes. Like, look, he's going to kill so many drones.
Okay, he's coming through now, doing a lot of damage.
He doesn't kill the drones. He would have killed like 10. Come on.
Wait, supply block Dark, though. Oh, careful. Oh, that's huge. Takes out so many Phoenixes.
And actually, this might trigger an attack. This was a big pick-off here. Dark might be confident enough to go for an attack. His supply block right now, he's getting 3 more overlords. Plus 2 missile is not going to complete before the attack happens if he goes for it now. Hive now starts as well.
Okay,
there's so many of those, by the way.
All right, a few of the stasis wards are going to be set off to try to sandbag the push that's coming up here from Dark.
Sandbag, huh?
You like that? He's coming up. I don't. Can we get a clear shot? Can we zoom out? Actually, where's the army? Okay, here it is.
Okay, he's going in there. Honestly, Dark has so much, but there's charge loss and Archons on the ground. Guardian Shield's going to help a lot.
He's coming in here. He's continuing to push so many Hydras in the back. The Phoenixes with the pickups, but ultimately Dark has too much. He continues to close in now. I think this might be the game. He's going to try to heal up. He goes back, using those shield batteries to heal up the Archons.
Yeah, the Overseer died, but he didn't pay enough attention when he watched Roddy's stream. You're supposed to have a Dark Shrine here.
I'm actually surprised.
I'm actually trying to retreat and get trapped.
I know, it's just so funny.
You can't retreat. Oh, he's gonna wait for it. Oh, wow.
Oh, he's gonna try to come in here and clean up the stunned units.
Yeah, the top chunk here of the Hydras is the one that's gonna be freed for
I don't know if this maths out favorably for Haz. Let's see how the engage actually goes down.
There's a lot of charge loss, but I mean, there's quite a few roaches.
I love Queens, he's all in.
Yeah, Dark adjusted so well. He made roaches to deal with the charge loss on the ground, and Haz is getting cleaned up here. He overextended for sure here by this, and he's still going for 2 more upgrades, and stars 2 Phoenixes. The nerves of this guy.
You know what's funny is you can see Dark is, this is the first time Dark's played a game like this ever. Okay, he's like trying to get in there. He's trying to do the damage. He's actually playing really cautiously. I thought the push was going to continue on and he might smash him, but Dark does the damage and says, wait a minute. Backs out.
Yeah.
Now, this line of probes, this Congo line of probes over here, going to this Nexus is really important because Dark is under the impression that Haz is on 3 bases. See? Whereas, in fact, Haz is even in economy, excuse me.
Fantastic analysis.
Yeah, so Dark, I think, might lose this based off misreading this late game situation.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I think he was right to pull back because he needed to regroup here for a little bit. But yeah, ideally, if Dark knew, like, remember what happened in game 1, and that was just a couple roaches that somebody sneaked in and killed all probes. He needs to do the same thing here. But for him to be able to start doing this, he needs to see that 4th base. So he can start doing multi-pronged attack with roaches. By the way, I can't believe this, but he started Storm immediately as Dark pulled back. I would have been so worried about, like, a follow-up attack that I would have just made a ton of Archons. But he's like, you know what? He pulled back. He's not going to attack anytime soon. Let's just go for Storm. Like, we're reaching the point where, imagine 4 High Templars against this army, landing some Storms. That would be really terrible for Dark unless he can somehow dodge everything.
Dude,
He's still
pushing.
upgrading out of 2 forges.
Yeah.
He's taking a 5th
This is
base.
so crazy. Yeah, you know, it's funny because it makes the math a little bit more fuzzy for the Zerg because you don't normally have this series of upgrades like this in a fight.
Ooh, he's attacking.
Oh,
Before he's maxed
here we
out,
go.
though.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Let's see
Some
those
good
storms.
storms, though. That's a lot of Templars. But this area is pretty wide and open here for Dark. Okay.
Does he have Burrow? I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So
Just worried about like
we're not
that,
getting a shot of this, but can we get a shot of the fight at the top? Okay, here we go. So this Nexus is going to be denied, which is not bad. But again, I don't know if Dark has the right idea of what's going on in this game. There's actually that hidden base in the bottom right, and I think Dark thinks he's basically out, like zoned out. Has this game. Hold on, the attack's going to come in. Another great storm.
Has he's being aggressive because he knows that there could be a lurker then that's very good against this army, but he might be overextending. High Templars at the front.
Yeah, some
big
storms are coming down here. I think Dark just has a little bit too much. The idea was good here by Haas, but ultimately Dark's macro is too good.
Oh my god, loses 2 or 3 High Templars here just before the recall finally happens. And Dark taking a huge supply lead. 12 lurkers on the way.
Yeah.
And he's about to have +3 missile attack.
This is huge. We're going to see a pretty big push come up here. Now, even if Haas, his bottom right base is never spotted, it might not matter. There might be enough muscle here from the Zerg that he just topples him.
And this is, again, what the couch talked about. You know, when we go into a longer game, 3 bases and all that, like, as good as Haas was doing, I feel like if it was like Showtime or something that had been in his position, he would have never lost this game.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily Haas's comfort zone, so he definitely fell apart a little bit more. But Dark stayed patient. Dark stayed solid throughout. And I think this is going to pay off here. I really feel like this army of Haas just cannot deal with this amount of lurkers here. He would need so many immortals, but he doesn't even have a robo.
Oh my god, that's right. This game is so weird. Okay, so he's getting a robo finally.
He just used recall, by the way. Like this army, if it gets caught on the map, he cannot recall it just yet.
Yeah, that Dark playing a cautious game. He just wants to clean this one out. He's going to come back here, try to kill this army off, and then probably go for the new 4th base that Haas is taking.
A casual 17 minutes metabolic boost in the production tab. I mean, why not? 7 more lurkers. What's going to be? How many does he have yet?
He's at
12 plus 7. 19 lurkers against 0 immortals, Tasteless.
Well, I don't think this is good for Protoss.
Okay, there's going to be one immortal.
One immortal, okay. Okay, so he's going to probably get those lurkers out, come in here with an attack, and I think Haas has gotten so far out of orbit of a normal PvZ. He was holding his own against Dark. By the way, Dark, a WCS Global finalist, but Dark just had an answer.
Yeah.
The game started with a cannon rush, but it just seems like Haas can't hold his own against the macro, the decision-making in late game against Dark here.
And I think Dark might be able to go for a huge siege with the lurkers. The question is, does he go for the 3rd or the 4th base? I think the area around the 3rd base might be better for that, but he's got a lot of creep around the 4th over there. So that's also a lot of vision for him to really set up very well. How many immortals is he up to? Like 2 right now?
Probably 2, right? 2 or 3? Okay.
This is just
so
terrible.
He's coming up here, and I mean, this is just going to destroy anything that touches the ground. Ouch. Wow, nice dodging by the Templars. Scary moment for those dudes. Okay, so the Nexus is going to go down, and I think we're going to see a slow and painful death here for Haas.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't fight this army. He would need to come in from like multiple angles, have way more immortals, and they bro so fast with that.
Look at Sweat Immortal. He's like, I thought I countered lurkers. Okay.
Why they're numbering us so much?
Could use some help here.
Team.
He's getting these lurkers burrowed over here. A nice angle here by Haas. And let's see how Haas's counterattack goes.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think he killed like 3 lurkers, so just 16 to go. And attack at the bottom here. Nice spines, actually. They're going to tank a lot of damage against these charge lots and Archons, but the siege on the other side, like, Haas's base is like, oh, that's so fast, and he still can't engage at all against this many burrowed lurkers. 50 in total.
Even though we see blows being taken on both sides, if you look at the supplies here, it's Dark over.
They're not even revealed, so he can't even pick them up with the Phoenixes.
There's nothing he can do here. So
look at the supply, Tasteless.
It's bad, man. It's bad if you're Haas. And I think at this point in time, we're just seeing Haas digest the loss. And I guess it's going to be a 2-0. The cheese, it did not last, man. Haas, his style, it really, GG, his style made a huge splash in the scene, but it cannot hold up against a player like Dark. And so that is the end of Haas's story here at the WCS Global Finals.
And we'll get a rematch, Dark versus Showtime.
Hell yeah.
It was a great series previously as a decider match here in this group.
I'm glad that Haas at least went out using the style that got him here today. Okay, he tried doing something unorthodox, at least for what we're used to seeing him do in game one, is play more standard.
Yeah.
But then in game two, he said, okay, back to the basics. Let's do the cannon rush. And it worked. Anyways, yeah, it's unfortunate he wasn't able to close it out at the end there. Okay, so let's see what's going on the couch. The reactions. Guys, how's it going?
I want that to be a graph.
Won't be a half series without some wackiness going on in the end, but Dark does prevail here with a 2-0, making sure he advances on to the decider match. Guys, that was all over the place.
Yeah, I gotta say, though, like my prediction was correct in every way except the technical way. So while it was technically incorrect, it was theoretically correct, it was emotionally correct, it was realistically correct. He had him that second game.
It was close.
But not technically correct.
Not
I think is the
technically
most
correct.
important part of all of that.
Who are you to judge the value of which correctness is the most important?
I am the WCS Global Finals host. No questions.
You know, it was funny in that second game. I think that was a moment when he forgot to make warp gate research, which you can do consciously to make a void ray.
Yeah.
You want to get that out faster, and then you forget to add it on after that
So
there was
already
this-
built.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment where it was looking kind of
With
good.
4 gates.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it would have been okay if he transitioned into ground smoothly. What happened there for Haas was he realized after putting the gateways down, he didn't have warp gate. Panicked, made a second cyber core,
Yeah.
started adding an extra third Stargate, then went back to ground much later. And it was this kind of, am I going Phoenix and air or am I going ground units? And I think if it was a smoother transition into ground or stick with the fleet beacon, go the carriers, either of those I think would have closed that out. I mean, mathematically, he was far ahead in that game. He had extra bases, extra economy, blocked the mutants
Extra
really
forges.
well, took out in the third base with the oracles. I'm not sure if the triple forge was the best investment, but
His upgrades looked nice.
They did look good. But Jeff, you almost looked annoyed there for a moment.
No, I mean, real quick before we go to the interview, I've been very harsh of Haas, but I think what he represents that's really cool is that off the idea of ingenuity and execution and not being afraid to get off the beaten path, he qualified for the biggest tournament in the world.
Absolutely.
Yes, he was a lamb to the slaughter here. He faced some of the absolute best players on planet Earth, of which he is not, but he had his time in the sun, and hopefully we'll see more of him next year, and he's a great mind. He takes it calm, cool, and collected, and he plays his game. And I think there's a lot to be respected and admired there. So Dark advances predictably, and we're going to hear from him in a second. But my hat's off to Haas. It's really cool. He plays to the beat of his own drum. It doesn't always work out, but it's a cool story.
I think a lot of us echo those sentiments. Let's head over to the interview now to hear from Dark.
Thank you very much, guys. Hajin here with Dark, and what a series we've just witnessed. I mean, it was a bit weird. So let's talk about the game. So in a PVZ, we don't actually see a lot of void rays. So what did you think when you saw it? 우선 축하드리는데 이제 경기 얘기를 바로 할게요. 1세트 때도 그러고 2세트 때도 그러고 하스 선수가 공업 표기를 많이 썼는데 왜 저그전에서는 토스트를 잘 안 쓰잖아요. 어떤 생각이 들던가요?
아니나 다를까 역시 하스처럼 플레이를 하더라고요. 그래서 좀 이상한 걸 준비해 올 거라 생각을 했는데 좀 이번에는 그 이상하기만 하고 좋진 않았던 것 같아요.
So as I expected, it was Haas, you know. So I knew he was going to come out with some weird build, and this time, indeed, it was weird, but these builds were not good. And so let's keep talking about game 2. We were a bit confused while watching this game. I mean, so many upgrades. Like, tell us how did it look from your point of view? 아직 2세트 때 저희도 뒤에서 약간 경기 보면서 이게 지금 무슨 일이지? 약간 이랬는데 어떠셨어요? 박용 선수가 봤을 때?
토스라는 종족에 오늘도 한번 또 놀란 게 저렇게 게임을 막 해도 게임 플레이가 되는구나라는 생각이 들었고요. 제가 좀 많이 불리했던 것 같은데 이겨서 좀 다행이었던 것 같아요.
So game 2, and what I thought is like, as I always thought, Protoss, you know, it's a really good race because even though you play like this, he was ahead actually, and I'm pretty relieved that I still won this game. And you recently joined Ghost Crew with Classic is there too. Do you guys practice together? Especially your next game is against the Protoss Showtime. So how does it go? 최근에 고스크루를 들어가셨는데 이제 김도우 선수도 있는 팀이잖아요. 연습도 같이 하고 좀 친하게 지내시나요?
일단 뭐 도우 형이랑은 워낙 옛날부터 같은 팀이었기 때문에 원래는 좀 친하게 지냈고요. 연습은 뭐 자기 스페셜이랑 해야 된다고 안 도와주더라고요. 그래서 거의 그냥 남남인 것 같고. 근데 제가 이번에 팀을 들어가게 됐는데 또 16강에서 떨어질 뻔한 위기잖아요, 지금. 그래서 좀 불안한데 아직 컨디션이 완벽하진 않은데 최선을 다해서 올라갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
So I'm with Classic in this team, and we've been close from a long time. But actually, in this tournament, we haven't practiced a lot together because he's focusing on his game against Special, so he didn't really help to practice against Showtime. And for me, so I just joined a new team, so I really want to go to advance to round of 8, and I'm in a really risky situation here. So I hope it's gonna be alright, and I hope it's gonna be alright for you too. Congratulations again. It was great talking to you, and back to you guys.
Thank you very much. That's right, Dark. Going on to the decider match later on. And, overall, he's going to be going up against Showtime again. It is a match that he was not victorious in earlier on in the group. And that has got to be weighing on him a little bit going into that next match, I think.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you come back up against an opponent who's taken you out 2-0 and it's not like it was one-sided easy matches for Showtime, but it was a decisive series of holds, and that's what it was. Dark was trying to break him, and he couldn't break him. And Showtime kind of had some almost fighting words in the interview where he said, well, I feel really comfortable because I feel like I just have to defend and survive.
Yep.
Whereas there's more pressure when I'm playing Serral to get out on the map and attack him. So I find it easy and comfortable in this scenario. So I'm sure Dark, listen to that interview. He's got to find a new way to crack the nut in the next series.
Let's briefly come back to this, though. I think that, looking at Haas versus Dark, especially game number 1, I think was most surprising to a lot of people, right? With Haas actually taking the road of, I'm going to try and macro this out, and I'm going to try and win this out. Going up against Dark, that can be a tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we saw the first game was, he put up a little bit of a fight for a little bit. Dark had to go get those cheese mutas, though, guys. I mean,
What is this? What is this cheese?
he didn't have any air defense, and mutas just fly in. It's like, oh, man.
It's trying to be silly. It's like two boxers though.
Yeah.
They're it's like a free fight, like it's just a show match. One guy's like an actual grizzly bear, and the other guy's like 120 pounds wet. And he's like, I'm actually just gonna stand up and box him. This is how I'm gonna try to win this. And everyone's like, what are you gonna try to do? I'm gonna punch him until he goes down. We're like, okay, you go for it, man. And that's what happened this series. I mean, Haz, like I said, my concern for Haz going into these series was he was like, I have to try something different from what I've been successful with.
Yeah.
In order to have some more of that success. And it's a tough StarCraft equation that a lot of us face. If you get to a certain place off the back of really crazy play and all-ins, I feel like you have to go with that. In this series, he did a little bit of that, but it was also off of the, I'm going to go up to 3 or 4 bases, and I'm going to out-macro the top 3 Zerg on planet Earth and the #1 Protoss on planet Earth. And whoever helped you arrive at that decision, you need to fire them. That's not a good choice. You're not winning that scenario.
For all intents and purposes, he should have probably won that second game. However, when it gets to those later stages, overall, it's not exactly easy.
You guys are sailing that by the way. I've been trying to be nice and not dominate the talk up here, but we all keep saying, if he just would have made carries off those 2 bases, he would have won.
Well,
Pig was quoting mathematics as a reason he was going to win. I'm like, this is getting really wild up here. I feel like I'm with 4 tastelesses, and we're starting to talk about some really crazy stuff. I'm like, I understand he'd have a better chance of winning, but I'm not okay with us just being like, he would have won. Like,
well,
come
if you
on.
look very closely at Haas, he's actually not Korean.
Is this the meme that's coming out of this tournament?